Bumbo clot! Who serious clot? The bumbo clot! The bumbo ras clot! The pussy ras clot! How was this going a while ago? Bumbo clot! How much catch up on camera?
Welcome to True Jamaica Buzz, news and entertainment with a buzz. What you just saw is a regular day in a paradise in a Jamaica, where it seems as if people are very distracted, not paying attention on the road. Hence, it leads to a lot of persons getting hurt or even worse, a lot of people losing their life. Because we see early in the morning, not too much traffic, a clear path to go where you're supposed to go. However, this person was either on a conversation, checking on the phone, or just distracted for whatever reason, and could have lost his or her life or even gotten badly injured. Don't know the circumstance. As soon as I get some more pertinent information, I'll be sure to divulge ASAP. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called Show Me Your Company, and I'll tell you who you are. The other day, there were 9 escapees from the Constant Spring lockup. All 9 of them are back in the custody of the police. One of those individuals that escaped, his name is Talik Chambers. Talik Chambers was held in the company of a young lady, 21-year-old. Her name is Jayan Shamara Holmes. However, Shamara is her pet name. Shamara went to the court a day or two ago, and when she went there with her lawyer, she asked for bail, and that bail was declined based on the fact that she gave the police her name as Shamara Holmes, which her registered government name is Jayan Holmes. Shamar, she claims, is her pet name. However, when she was asked by the police, Shamara is the name that she gave. She did not mention anything about Jayan. So the judge decided that, listen, this lady seems like a flight risk based on the fact that she is telling a lie. What makes it even worse, when she was asked, don't you know that harboring a fugitive and escapee is against the law? She claimed that she did not know that he had escaped. She was not a part of facilitating the escape. She did not provide any source of transportation for his escape, so therefore she was an innocent victim. She claimed that she got a phone call, and the phone call instructed her, come to XY place at XY time. And when she went there with their child, that was when the police rolled up on the scene, hold him for escaping, hold him for some serious crimes, and then charge her for harboring a fugitive. Needless to say, the bail was denied. Now, people, truth and the fact is that something is just common sense. And the judges in this court, even though it seems as if sometimes they are throwing some sorts of sympathy party, them have some sorts of sense, them have education, they are well schooled, they are well learned. So if you go and tell the judge that you did not know how he escaped, first thing first, if you share a child with this person, criminal element, you know that he was locked up. So whenever you got this call and him tell you to meet you at XY location, one of the first questions that you probably is going to ask is, then hold on a minute, you're not supposed to lock up away you do. Bust the case, you beat the case, or them let you out, or you broke out of jail, which is what he exactly did. So at the end of the day, this young lady went to court a day or so ago, and she was remanded back into custody until the 2nd of September. And the judge should, on the 2nd of September, still remand her into jail, make sure that she either takes a plea or she goes to trial, and make sure that she's convicted and get some time so that they can set an example for all of the other aspiring criminal elements out there that like to harbor fugitive, that like to have bad man or gunman in them hole and even bear some sorts of picnic for these bad men. Just imagine this child growing up in a dysfunctional home where the mother is a liar and a thief, what's more, the father. Point blank and period.
You can almost hear that.
Smell it.
Eh, you smell that, man.
Smell sulfur. You don't reach
Bumba. Allah. Jesus.
boy, that dangerous boy for you.
A high-level investigation is underway following the discovery of an explosive device at a business place in Tollgate, Clarendon. It was successfully detonated by experts from the Jamaica Defense Force. As you'll hear in this report, the drama unfolded following a dispute between an ex-soldier and a businessman. What started as an argument between a businessman and an ex-soldier quickly spiraled into a security crisis in Tollgate, Clarendon on Tuesday. According to reports, the incident erupted shortly after 1 p.m. at an auto shop where the two men got into a heated dispute. Tensions boiled over when the ex-soldier allegedly threatened to bomb the premises. The businessman responded by allegedly shooting him in the foot. The injured man was rushed to hospital where he remains in serious condition. Police, with the help of the JDF, upon searching the premises, discovered an explosive device. The main road was cordoned off, causing major traffic disruptions and forcing businesses in the area to temporarily shut their doors. A specially trained JDF bomb disposal unit was flown into the area via helicopter, sparking anxiety among residents and onlookers. After roughly 7 hours, a thunderous explosion ripped through the air as the experts detonated the device to safely neutralize the threat. The blast sent bystanders running in panic, but officials later confirmed it was part of a successful disposal operation. The remains of the device were collected for forensic analysis. No further injuries were reported and the area was declared safe. However, the incident has left the community shaken. Investigators by the JCF and JDF remain active as authorities work to determine the origin of the explosive device and what led to the confrontation.
So the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that ICE Immigration Customs Enforcement has been publishing a list of residents or aliens that are going to be deported back to Jamaica from whence they came. Some serious aliens that are charged, convicted of some serious crime. On this latest list, there are 3 individuals. 51-year-old criminal alien Jamaican Avon Shuttleworth. Based on the information, it is said that on or about August of 18, 2025, being a convict in possession with intent to distribute in excess of 500 grams or more of cocaine hydrochlorine in a New York City. This man is headed back to Jamaica from whence he came. And people, say in a Jamaica, there's not much hustling. So therefore, this man is going to have a couple of choices. Is either him go back as a returning illegal alien, jump on a boat to the Bahamas and go back and continue the lifestyle that he is used to. Or his other option is that he remain in a Jamaica, become gainfully employed, bring some positivity, find some sorts of job, some sorts of hustle, some sorts of business that he can do and live as a normal, constructive citizen of Jamaica. However, I doubt that he is going to exercise that option because whenever you're used to that criminal element money, it is hard to go back to square ones from whence you came, even though he is in Jamaica. So the next person that you see on the list of this group of 3 esteemed gentlemen from Jamaica is a 35-year-old man that you see on the screen as I speak. His name is Andre Etienne. He faces deportation as of the 20th of August 2025. Based on the information, it is said that he was arrested, he was charged and convicted for touching up a little picnic in a place known as Conyers, that is in Georgia, Atlanta area. So people, what this means is that the young ladies, women, elderly ladies in Jamaica, People that have picnic, girl picnic, they better hide their children, hide their mother, hide everything that have any sorts of, well, I am not going to say that only feminine people, because this man seems as if, as you look at him, 35-year-old, look like he had a rough life. Maybe he was imprisoned for a very long time, so therefore the stress of life or the stress in a prison is showing on his face. Hopefully, when he comes back to Jamaica again, he will be rehabilitated again. The system will make sure that they are monitoring persons like this. However, people, this is Jamaica, so I just put out the face out there. So in case this person ends up in your neighborhood, you should be very aware of what he was charged for. So last but not least, on the group of 3 esteemed gentlemen is a person from North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, originally from Jamaica. His name is Gregory Maxwell, 48-year-old. He tried to tell lies in his application to become a naturalized U.S. citizen. However, when they asked this individual, do you have any sorts of conviction for any crime? He lied. He said that he does not have any sorts of crime and he should qualify to be a United States citizen, even though he had a charge of touching up some little picnic. So therefore, he will be coming back to Jamaica because he lied on his application to be a naturalized citizen, and also that he was charged and convicted for touching up a little picnic back in about 2012, 2013 or so. Point blank and period.
As a mother, I think this is a gruesome act. This is something I wouldn't wish on anyone. And this is just something devastating to the entire community. Well, in the wee hour of the night last night, we heard that they couldn't find the 2 children that were at the premises and the parents were at the police station. I heard that they got some marijuana tea to drink and then they couldn't find the children after that.
So the next thing that is popping in the news, based on the video, muted video that you see playing on your screen, if you read the caption. 1 and 4-year-old siblings feared gone. In St. Anne, father in custody. Now, people, sometimes you don't want to speculate because you could be wrong. But whenever we see stuff like this, where a father takes out his 1 and 4-year-old, is a couple of things. Him kind of snap, lose his mind, and take out the picnic them. A lot of time, it is a crime of passion. Now, people, me not gonna say exactly what happened, but more than likely some sorts of relationship, domestic thing that goes wrong when we see cases like these. And we've gotten a lot of very disturbing reminder over the past couple of years or so. So it's said the situation in Jamaica get bad. And like I said, this is breaking news, so as soon as I get some more pertinent information, I'll be sure to divulge. However, in my opinion, like I said, whenever a father takes out his 2 picnic, is either him do something and them catch up on him, or him and the baby mother, him wife, or whomever is having problem and him take it out on the picnic. Did not say the mother, baby mother, or whomever was hurt or was taken out also. People, like I said, this is breaking news. As soon as I get some more pertinent information, I'll be sure to divulge ASAP. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is that we saw that the police special operation soldier. They went on an operation 5 hours in the Waterhouse adjoining area. And after the search, they came out with 2 rifles, 2 high-powered rifles to be specific. One of those rifle, Radical RF-15 rifle, and the next one, AK-47. All of us is familiar with the AK-47, but this is what the Radical RF-15 rifle looks like. It looks as dangerous as the name suggests. Now, people, based on information, it is said that the police went in the area based on information. Based on intelligence, that means that somebody gave them information. It is either somebody that is locked up presently or somebody that just lives in the community and is tired of these parasitic criminals causing all sorts of problems but bringing nothing to the table other than stress and death and destruction. So them call the police. The police went by there, found these two high-powered rifles, lock up at least 10 persons. However, 2 persons would be deemed as persons of interest. The other 8, maybe just formality, ask them a couple of questions, question and answer session, and then let them go. Now, based on information that I am getting from residents in the area, is that they are petrified, they are scared, because it is said that based on those 2 rifles being seized or found, there's a whole bunch of threat saying that anybody that is deemed to be an informant or giving the police information while you're doing your civic duty, your whole family will be taken out. So the police now has to stand guard for a little while until everything kind of cools off. But you know, in these garrison, it is a cat and mouse game. When the cat's away, the mice will play. As soon as the cat them leave, everything back to square one. People are gonna be dead in, because best believe whoever hide this rifle or whoever inform about this rifle, they are going to be under some strict scrutiny. They more than likely is going to lose their life or will have to pay back, or the family will have to pay. Code name, people are going to be dead in. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, one of the buzzing topic in the dancehall space on social media in a real life, is a clash that is taking place between 2 dancehall artists. Don't know if you're familiar with the dancehall space, those artists. Chronic Law and the next artist known as Malidan. When you talk about street artists, those 2 artists fit the criteria, meaning that they are definitely gang related. Gang related based on their association presently, association in the past. That association is Shabdan, crime producer, music producer, and then Squash, the leader of the 6. Both of these artists were affiliated with Squash, specifically, mainly Chronic Law. They were like 2 peas in a pod. However, Malidan was also linked with Squash. However, it seems as if there was some sort of rift between Squash and Chronic Law, in which Chronic Law decided that he was going to take side with Shabdan, which is the producer. You know that there's a war brewing between Shabdan and Squash for a couple of years that kind of got bloody in a place known as Roseites, where J-Man or J-Waver, his family got conned up. So people, we saw that these 2 artists, they went on stage. Malidan said that some people turned switchy. Some people that was aligned to the 6 and Squash. Since Squash got in his predicament, these artists turned their backs. Persons were assuming that he was speaking about Chronic Law, because everybody from you been watching dancehall, you know, says Squash and Chronic Law was tied. Until Squash moved to the United States, Florida to be specific, and got himself in a whole shitload of trouble. So we see them kind of parted way. You have Squash, which is the law boss, and then you have Squash, which is the 6 boss, and then you have Chronic Law, which is the law boss. So he kind of formed his own affiliate. He was the person that was in charge. Maybe when he was Squash with Squash, it was kind of equal. I think that Squash was more the leader as it pertains to both of them. So therefore, he was answering not directly, but in some capacity to Squash. So we saw that Malidan came out and him this Chronic Law on stage and said some of them started switch since Squash got in his problem. And then him throw all sorts of this on stage while he was performing. And then we saw that Chronic Law did the same thing at a thing called Ice Cream Sunday that was held in a Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. When him dissed them and said, listen, no boy can run up on me. All sorts of gun and threat and death threats, you name it, it was being said in a very subliminal way. Well, people like me say, the subliminal has now escalated. And we see that based on the last time that I checked, is that Malidan released 2 diss tracks aimed directly at Chronicler, and then Chronicler responded to one of Malidan's diss track with one song. Now, people, like I said, the motive and the moral behind all of this is that they are fighting for the loyalty of Squash, to see who is more loyal, who has switched. So I said to myself, I wonder if they realize that Squash is under investigation. I wonder if they realize, based on immigration, if you are deemed to be a part of a criminal organization or facilitate or back or encourage any sorts of criminal organization, being that whenever you get a US visa, it is a privilege, it is not a right. So therefore, that privilege can be cut right there upon the spot. However, like I say, when it comes to these dancehall artists, images, everything, and whenever you are deemed to be gangster or street, it seems as if that street credibility holds a whole bunch of weight. So these persons would rather to jeopardize their livelihood, jeopardize feeding their family, jeopardize getting the opportunity to go overseas to fight for a man that is locked up and put himself in a whole bunch of predicament that could have been independent had he made the wise choice to do the right thing. However, him leave from Jamaica doing all sorts of FUCKRY, went to America, getting a problem, get himself out of problem with all sorts of pie up, and still went and do the same thing. 3 cases in which the feds or the state have in which he was caught around in a vehicle with tool. And that is what led to his latest predicament, meaning that the straw that broke the camel's back. And even after all of this, people see what is going on, realizing that he's under deep investigation by the feds. They still want to associate and link themselves to him. People like them say, blind loyalty is worse than no sorts of loyalty at all. These persons are loyal to a fault, as a matter of fact. Them fully done. I wonder if whenever Squash is given his time, either one of these artists, meaning Malidan or Chronicler, is going to take a part or 1/3 of the time that he gets. It is yet to be determined. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.